On a daily basis, I have 4 major areas of responsibility. The first of which is our podcast creative juice. We have to come up with the concept of the episode, get any guests that we might have, record the episode, film the episode, consolidate the files, organize them, deliver those files to Cup so that he can mix it, and then create the video for the podcast, descriptions, thumbnails, upload it to YouTube, create the page on our website for the podcast, and then email the podcast. My second major area of responsibility is this YouTube channel. That involves a whole lot. There's shooting this A-roll, there's shooting this B-roll over here, stuff like that. And before that, there's scripting and coming up with the ideas for the videos. Then there's consolidating the audio and the video, all the different feeds, syncing them up, trimming all of those clips, and then working with the color correction and the audio and some visual effects, adding titles, rendering, thumbnails, descriptions, YouTube SEO, uploading to YouTube, emailing it to our audience. My third area of responsibility is our agency, IndieX, which is a music marketing agency. And lastly, the training and education side of our business, which on a daily basis involves writing, scripting, recording videos, developing PDFs and worksheets, marketing all of these trainings, working on our website, dealing with customer support issues, dealing with common bugs, planning out new trainings, doing testing for all of those trainings. Now, our team has grown, but my workload is actually more demanding than it's ever been. So in this video, I'm just going to be showing you a technique that I use to make sure everything gets done and that every idea that we have turns into actual action. So let's get into it. We're quickly running out of storage here in the studio. A while back, I bought a Drobo 5D external hard drive, carries a bunch of hard drives in it. Already filled it up. 30 terabytes, yours truly, filled it up. But I've got this Synology disk station that is going to serve as like a NAS server for us so that Cup, if he's editing videos, he can store it on the NAS server. I can send files to him really easily. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Careers, companies, brands, products grow because of execution, not ideas. A lot of people are really confused about that. One of the main challenges that people who want to start a business face is that they don't actually have a business, they have an idea. A lot of people think that ideas are inherently worth something. Like if you think of some great invention that you're owed some kind of money, or if you think of a musical idea and then that musical idea pops up in popular media that someone stole it from you. But I'm here to tell you that is patently false. If you have a brilliant idea, congratulations. Ideas are not worth anything. No matter how many meetings you have, you're not doing shit. You need to actually sit down in front of a computer, not talking to anyone, and get something done. Unless you're like a carpenter and you work with tools or something. I'm using computer here loosely, whatever it is you work with. Now I say all that to say that I now use a cheesy little mnemonic, a little heuristic that is effective in reminding me that ideas don't mean anything. And as soon as I have an idea, I need to run it to ground. When I say run it to ground, I need to get it to a place where if I leave it off today, I can pick it back up just as it was. It's an executable thing. And that cheesy little mnemonic I call the 3 T's. Next time you have a brilliant idea, something that you really think is worth doing, break it down into the 3 T's. Run it through this filter. The first T is tasks. What are the tasks that getting it done is comprised of? Do you want to start a YouTube channel? Okay. Upload frequency. You need channel branding and graphics. You need an initial content idea list, something to get you started with what videos you're going to create. You need to record videos. You need to edit videos. You need to run SEO on those videos for YouTube search rankings. You need to write video descriptions. You need to distribute those videos to social and email if you got an email list. There's a lot that goes into the simple idea of starting a YouTube channel. And the main problem is that start a YouTube channel is too chunky a task to write down in your to-do list. What do I mean by chunky? Well, anytime a task can easily be broken down into many subtasks, it's usually too chunky a task. It's too big. It takes up too much space. When you go to start it, you don't even know where to start. You don't know where you left off because it's a huge month-long thing that you're trying to do. A major mistake that most people make when it comes to productivity is writing down super chunky tasks and then stopping there. Ideas aren't executable until you know exactly what they're going to take. So if you have a big chunky idea, you need to break it down into all the subtasks that it will comprise. I like to keep tasks to a maximum of 3 hours. If it takes me longer than 3 hours to complete a task, it needs to be broken down. So what tasks do you need to complete this idea that you want to bring to fruition? The second T is time. Until all the tasks that comprise a given idea are on a calendar, on a schedule, in a way that will remind you periodically, they aren't tasks. They're just options that you're currently putting off but have no real idea how you're gonna get done. The second you figure out the tasks, you gotta schedule them. Now, here's how I do it. First of all, I don't set arbitrary, imaginary end dates for my projects that were pulled out of thin air, just because it's the first thing I thought of. I used to do this all the time, and it would completely screw me over. It would set me back a lot because I would just pull an end date out of thin air and make that the definite deadline for this task. So what I recommend that you do is the second you have a bright idea, break it down into its requisite tasks, schedule the first one, and then reasonably schedule successive tasks until you've got all those tasks scheduled to be completed, and your ship dates on all of your projects will be cut in half. I guarantee you that. And then, most importantly, is team. This is gonna make more sense for people who are a little further on in their career or their business, but team is what makes really chunky projects super easy. When you have all the tasks and your schedules laid out before you, this part is pretty easy actually. What you wanna do is audit your list of tasks and delegate everything that makes sense to delegate. So for instance, if in starting your YouTube channel, you've got a friend that is a graphic designer, you shouldn't be designing the graphics for your channel. You should delegate it to that friend. If it's going to cost you money in order to delegate, then you have to decide whether your time is worth more than the money that it would cost. Like for instance, it might take me 2 hours to design a graphic where 2 hours of my time at retail value is worth about $240. I could probably get a graphic designer to do it in a half hour so I have it faster and for less than half of that amount of money. I would say that for any business owner, whether it's a creative like music career or an independent filmmaking career, whatever it is, time is your most valuable resource. It just doesn't become obvious that it is until much later on. And with that resource, you should be doing the #1 task that benefits any business owner, and that is marketing. Aside from creating whatever it is that your product is, you should be marketing as much as possible, especially during the first 2 to 3 years of your business. The reason that I started learning this mnemonic is because I came from a place where there was a lot of meetings and ideas and, oh, we should start doing this or we should stop doing this. And no one ever ran any of those things to ground in those meetings. The first thing that I became good at was the actual tasks. And that's the one that interested me most when I started doing my to-do list, because I realized this chunky problem was formidable. After that, I started realizing time was really important. And even today, I'm learning this lesson. Just recently, I started putting time estimates alongside all of my tasks when we do our morning stand-ups meetings. It doesn't all just come at once, but hopefully this mnemonic that I'm telling you helps you get there a little bit faster. Now, the one that's really going to elude a lot of you out there, myself included, for the first couple of years is team. It's really difficult to understand how you're going to leverage a team in order to get more done. When you break down your projects into tasks and time, you get to start making smart decisions about team. You start freeing up more of your own time. And whether you're a team of one or a burgeoning superstar entertainer, your time's limited. Your resources are scarce. And ideas alone are not enough to move the needle. So remember the 3 T's. Start breaking down the big ideas of yourself and your cohorts into the tasks that it will take to get those ideas off the ground, the time that it will take each of those tasks to get completed, and then a rough framework for like time over time. So like, will it take 2 hours? Great. How many 2-hour blocks do you have in the next week, the next month? How many months will it take to get the project finished? And the team that can help you accomplish that project. I didn't always have these little mnemonics. I didn't always have these little things to help myself remember. These are just things that I've built over time. So even if you're at square one, you can start doing this stuff today. Some poor version of it, and it will get better, I promise you.
Start it up.
All right. So that's today's video. If you like this video, what I would love for you to do is go ahead and just click the thumbs up button below here. And if you'd like to receive more helpful tips on music marketing, entrepreneurship, productivity, business, technology, music, gear, whatever it is, you just click that subscribe button and you turn on notifications for this channel. And I'll be like, hey, every time we release another video such as this. With that said, I've been Circa for Full Stack Creative, and if you subscribe, I'll see you in that next video. Peace out.